Biashara Kenya, tunaimarika kimoja. Kipra, oye, Kipra, oye. Kipra.
Your Excellency, sir, at this juncture, I will
Good afternoon, all of us. For the university. This conference is themed Accelerating Counties and close to 38% of Kenya. Let me take a few minutes just to talk about KIPRA and say that KIPRA, which stands for Kenya Institute 97, and it got its act in 2006, Act number 15 of 2006. We have three key major programs that we implement. One of them is capacity building process. Finally, we have also a few commercialized programs that we do to ensure that each
livestock and wildlife herds. The experience of working with the national and international stakeholders ensures sustainable communities. It also emerged that this can be achieved through strong strategic collaboration and partnership between national and international of the existing policy and environmental frameworks for targeted interventions. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and related challenges. There is no dignity in one's inability to meet the basic needs of the family. Important. This theme speaks to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda of inclusive development and restoring the dignity of over 500 kilometers from Vanga to Kiunga along the Indian Ocean. Up to 80% of the livelihoods of families in the region is derived from the ocean. Distinguished guests, on the other hand, several trials on farming in northern counties have shown that with the right infrastructure. Further, we are instituting various measures to eliminate the use of firewood and charcoal. In this regard, we have zero-rated taxation of cookies. Not only assist us in aligning development frameworks, but also plan better for posterity. Additionally, the Ministry of East African Community Affairs and Regional Development, State Department of Economic and National Development, the County Government of issues turn themselves from a food deficit area to a food production. What is required is infrastructural development, peace and security, and most important, water. So this conference, I'm sure, at the end of this conference, you guys in Parliament has done us proud last night, and the other night you stayed up to late at night. Mkanyorosha hii watu ya Azimio, mkapitisha finance bill. Na tulikuwa tumewaambia hawa. We had told them. In Executive Order number 1 of 2023, President William Ruto assigned me, among other functions, the role of coordinating and supervising implementation of development partners-funded programs and projects. This assignment came when the country was deep into prolonged crisis, in which more than 4 million Kenyans in at least 31 counties were facing starvation, mostly in arid and semi-arid lands. We also lost 2.5 million livestock and wildlife herds. The experience of working with the national and international stakeholders in short-term response measures brought to the fore the urgent need for inclusive development across the country for resilient and sustainable communities. It also emerged that this can be achieved through strong strategic collaboration and partnership between national and international stakeholders. But it requires intensive research for a deep understanding of the existing policy and environmental frameworks for targeted interventions. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, arid and semi-arid land covers 29 out of the 47 counties, which are home to about 38% of our population. And because of climate change, pockets of aridity are emerging in other counties, further threatening our food security. Our people are in or exposed to poverty, hunger, thirst, and related challenges. There is no dignity in one's inability to meet the basic needs of the family. This is why the 6th KIPRA Annual Regional Conference under the theme, Accelerating Economic Growth and Development for Arid and Semi-Arid Lands of Kenya, is very important. This theme speaks to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda of inclusive development and restoring the dignity of the Kenyan people. Currently, the contribution of ASAL counties to our GDP is varied. Whereas Nakuru County's contribution was ranked second in 2022, the bottom 10 counties are mostly from northeastern Kenya, the lower eastern and coast regions. This is in spite of the great potential of these areas. For instance, the ASAL counties of Kwale, Kilifi, Tana River, and Lamu have a combined coastline of over 500 kilometers from Vanga to Kiunga along the Indian Ocean. Up to 80% of the livelihoods of families in the region is derived from the ocean. In collaboration with partners, we have launched a number of equipment to enhance deep sea fishing in the coastal counties. More can be done. Distinguished guests, on the other hand, several trials on farming in northern counties have shown that with the right infrastructure, crops are a viable option of increasing food security alongside pastoralism. In our plan of building dams across the country, we have factored in ASALs as areas of increasing our food productivity. Drilling and maintaining of boreholes is another long-term strategic intervention of building resilience of the communities. This will gradually engage them for more settled lifestyle besides livestock insurance. We are also expanding exploitation of the existing natural resources like geothermal, wind, solar, fuel, and other minerals in the ASALs. In the long run, this will help us mitigate the impact of climate change. Currently, our national energy consumption is about 90% renewable. We are on course towards 100% transition to green energy. Green energy is highly reliable and predictable, hence the potential to support the digital economy in ASALs. As we exploit the resources of these areas, the Ministry of Mining is working on remittances of royalties to communities in resource-rich areas. We are aligning our frameworks with the pillars of the United Nations guiding principles on business and human rights, which are based on protect, respect, and remedy. Further, we are instituting various measures to eliminate the use of firewood and charcoal. In this regard, we have zero-rated taxation on cooking gas for households. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have highlighted these key issues because you are essential partners in sound impact research and policy analysis. To reap the benefit of ourselves, we seek to strengthen our partnership with KIPRA for research on emerging issues like climate change. This will not only assist us in aligning development frameworks, but also plan better for posterity. Additionally, a detailed analysis of the existing legal and development frameworks will allow us to gain new insights into people-centered and inclusive implementation of the Kenya Kwanza plan. In conclusion, I thank KIPRA, the Ministry of East African Community Affairs and Regional Development, the State Department of National Development, the County Government of Kilifi and other partners for organizing this very successful conference. We look forward to deliberations in shaping our policy interventions to spur growth and development in the Asals. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much. I really want to salute our members of the National Assembly. The President and I are very proud of you. And we want to assure you that those funds that you have recommended we collect from the people of Kenya, they will be used prudently for the benefit of the people of this great country. And I want to thank our governors here in the Coast region. Despite the fact that this region voted overwhelmingly for Azimio, they have dignified the people of the Coast region. I have never seen a single governor from this region going to maandamano and wearing a sufuria on his head. Sasa wewe ndugu yangu Mungaro, vile tumependana siku mingi, ningekuona na sufuria kwa kichwa si nitasirai. The people of Kilifi will be embarrassed because these governors know, they know that they need money to develop their counties. This money will come from revenue collected from the people of Kenya. And these governors are realistic. They are real. They know they have a government to run. And that is why they have refused to listen to Mzee Azimio. You see, Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua have no government of their own. They don't need any money from anybody to run anything. So, where ukiwafuata blindly utazimika peke yako. Because them, they have no obligation to anybody in this country. They are not accountable to anybody in this country. Nobody is asking them for salaries. Nobody is asking them to build roads. Nobody is asking them to build water plants. Then they tell you, tuende maandamano tusimamishe pesa kukuja. Wewe ni governor, you have a budget, you need to pay people, you need to build roads. Si wewe utakuwa mjinga kufuata hiyo watu? The lands are vast. The climate is right. The soils are good. All we need is water, roads, security, and the right interventions. And then we don't have to beg again. If you go to Israel, if you go to United Arab Emirates, the climate is the same as in Garissa, as in Mandera, as in Wajir. But go to Dubai and see the transformation. Go to Israel and see the transformation. They are food secure. They produce everything they want. And I think that is doable. So this conference is very, very, very important. And I really want to thank KIPRA. I want to thank ASALS. I want to thank the State Department of Planning for putting these great minds here today. I'm sure at the end of the conference, you'll come up with clear and concrete proposals to engage us in government to see what we can do together to tap that great potential in the SALS areas. KIPRA is renowned and respected in this country for very sound formulation of policy. And I want to say that this conference could not have come at a better time. In fact, in my reasoning, it is late. The future of our food security and the existence of our very country is domiciled in the ASALS areas. And therefore, this partnership with KIPRA to develop policy on the possible interventions to turn the ASALs from a food deficit area to a surplus one is the panacea for sorting out not only our food security, but our economy as a country. The ASAL areas have great potential in terms of food production. What is required is infrastructural development, peace and security, and most important, water. I'm sure at the end of this conference, you'll come up with a policy framework of the interventions that are required to put resources, to put interventions in the ASALs area to support the rest of the country. Drought should never be part of our life because we have invested heavily in ASAL areas, sunk boreholes, constructed water ponds, small dams and mega dams, and move away from rain-fed agriculture to irrigation so that we get enough food supply. And I'm sure that with this kind of engagement that has happened today, that is doable.